Yes, we are hopping back on the FEUERSCHWANZ train. I had fun in terms of an introduction, and they've only been a requested name at this point for several months now. Ever since many of you might remember, I first engaged with D'Artagnan, and I really enjoyed their work. And soon after that, and I think I'd seen the name in passing, but soon after I'd started putting up, D'Artagnan coverage, suddenly all these names came about FEUERSCHWANZ as a reference, right? The associated project, as I understand, I forget the last name of Ben, their frontman, but very similar, at least in the folk rock focus, with a bit of a harsher aggressiveness, and a fun, mythological, from my understanding, medieval twist, at least it's been articulated to me, and what I've seen thus far. Because it was soon after, D'Artagnan, well, a couple months after, granted, but it was soon after the names came in for FEUERSCHWANZ. I'm like, okay, they're coming. I promised you. And then I delivered so far on Meister de Mene and Das Elften Gebel. Probably mispronouncing that. I'm trying to get my German pronunciations correct. Forgive me if it's not. I'm working on it. And I do research to try and best, make it precise. Anywho, they were fun to introduce myself to. I mean, some of you said they go for more like a humorous vibe, for what I remember right, or maybe I saw it in passing somewhere else. But yes, those first two videos were quite fun. I mean, especially Meister de Mene. I was laughing quite a bit, and still, especially on subsequent rewatches, it's a hilarious video. But the songs are so great. Basically, D'Artagnan, but a little more aggressive, right, with a metal backing, whereas with D'Artagnan, it's more like German rock, kind of folk rock style, which I never knew I'd like folk rock, but in part because I said about D'Artagnan, it's nostalgic for me because I was for many years a river dancer, and so I get, even though I know it's not Irish music, it's really similar in sound. It's like an adjacent complement that if I were to perform like an Irish hard shoe, soft shoe number, it would not feel any different. Because, sometimes you listen to a song, and especially if you're a dancer with my tenure, because I was for 18 years, certain songs you start choreographing automatically in your head. And with D'Artagnan, that was immediately the case. And with FEUERSCHWANZ, there's that capability too. Even though, again, like I said, it's much more in the metal territory, and being a big metalhead, of course, I go for that, especially on the more aggressive side, but I keep an open door on tastes. FEUERSCHWANZ was an easy favorite, and they've been an easy repeat listen since. I've listened to those two tracks over and over and over. But I want to hear more. I want to expand my library, and I've got a wealth of tracks I'm going to be consulting from them. I've already written out the schedule. It's a number of works, including some of their must-hears, which you've recommended to me by name. And it's an honor to showcase a talent like FEUERSCHWANZ on this channel, and perhaps introduce many of you to another artist that deserves a higher degree of recognition. I know they have a substantial library at this point of audience, devoted audience members and fans, but, I always speak in regards to my circles. No one knows who FEUERSCHWANZ is. No matter how hard I try to get people to know the names of the groups I listen to, it's like probably about 99% of the artists, I get blank stares. I try. With many of you, though, I've heard the story being like I've covered one group or whatever. So this is satisfaction on my end. If I can't entertain this in my real-life circles, which granted, again, by comparison, for specific reasons, my social circle is rather limited. I keep it that way. But I exercise routine effort to try and get people to be like, hey, you should be listening to this name, and it seems to be no momentum. But for some of you, that's been the case. I've had exchanges with some of you in the comment sections where you've come across my channel in regards to another artist I've consulted that maybe is a favorite for you, but then I cover another artist you never heard of, and you're like, I like this artist, and I should go listen to their work. I should do some more exploring. And I'm like, goal satisfied, in part. There's a lot of funny, enough to say this, there's a lot of emerging goals that erupted after I started engaging with music, which, as I've said many times, has been a long-time aspiration of mine on this channel to bring it into a grander focus, apart from other entertainment and art forms, because music for me very much is a first love in my life, and it's been for many years since I was a kid. The first introduction perspective, though, for me, it's a lot of fun to entertain artists that deserve, again, a higher recognition among general audiences, especially in America. I mean, imagine I would be pretty sure that FEUERSCHWANZ has American viewers. I know D'Artagnan does, but again, not among my peers. It's a fun endeavor, though, to experience artists with you, even if I can't necessarily see your face, although, again, as I've said, I've had plenty of great exchanges of you in the comment sections. It's wonderful to be able to have a collaborative experience where we can enjoy good art together. And Europe has, as I've said many times, a wealth of artists in the metal and rock scenes that are just absolutely thriving right now, that are must-hears, and many of which I'm sure I'll get to. You've given me a substantial library of recommendations, all of which I've noted on my general list of considerations, and I'm whittling through sporadically. There's so many names, and, God willing, I'll get to all of them. We'll see, for the most part. But with FEUERSCHWANZ, and with music, as I was saying, generally on this channel, it's wonderful to have that collaborative exchange, if permitted. And for many of you, it's been the case where you've engaged with me, in regards to new artists, perhaps as first introductions. True, I've met many of you in terms of being longtime fans of the artists I consult, but where maybe I'm either very familiarized with them or I'm operating on a first entrance point, like some perhaps who are approaching this video. And I do think if you're in that position, you're going to enjoy FEUERSCHWANZ. Take it from me on faith, of what I've already been familiarized to. But I love being able to introduce artists that, again, deserve a higher degree of name recognition. And you're going to get that with FEUERSCHWANZ. I'm sure I 100% sure on that front. I had a great time with them, at least in the first 2 entries. I can't wait to showcase them again. Let's take a look at Metfest, as I'm working my way through, currently, I believe, the Das Aufgegebo album, the deluxe version, at least is what I've purchased songs from. And again, as I normally run by this model, I'm judging the selection of music videos and visualizers they've released to a certain date to give a good selection to their library, and FEUERSCHWANZ has a lot. So we're going to get through all of them eventually, but starting with Metfest. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and I believe Metfest is based on, feel free to clarify if you're longtime FEUERSCHWANZ fans. I tried to get perspective on this. I think this is based on one of the, at least in name, one of the tours they went on. I don't know for sure. I tried to look up a translation, one didn't pop up, so I'm assuming this is a proper name. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the song in accordance with the video, and if you're not familiar with the way I format my music coverage, I do try and accommodate listener taste to the best of my ability. So if somebody likes to read along with the narrative of the piece, the lyrics both in English translation, roughly what I can muster. I was a Spanish student for about 4 years in college, so I don't have the familiarity with German other than some words, thanks D'Artagnan, now FEUERSCHWANZ. I'll provide you a rough English translation as well as the original German in the video, and you'll see those pop up as soon as the video begins. You can follow along with the song in either capacity if you wish to. Anywho, Metfest. Here we go. Let's engage with FEUERSCHWANZ again. I'm so excited. Europe is such fun crowd interaction. Like, I'd love to go to one of these concerts. I've never been to any European country, but I would love to. Look at how active they are. They all brought their props. Oh. Again, I love that energy. So much personality, very European. And again, I know it's German, but strong Celtic vibe in their music. Beautiful vocal presence, I love them. Auf ein Metfest, gönnt euch ihr Zecher. Auf ein Metfest, gönnt euch die vollen Becher. Auf dem Metfest verträgt sich jedes Pack. The great blend into a part of both of the lead vocalists and some of the background as well. But those are really cohesive works. It's just so much fun to watch. Very much like D'Artagnan. Nice switch. Both Ben and this other guy really do it for me. Ah, nice drop. I like that. Disrupts the flow in a pleasant way. you know, again, like I said, I love these live videos. It's so much fun to see the European scene and just how much personality is there. I have to be honest, I just don't see the same connection point that I do. I mean, we have strong live shows here in America, but the interaction here is like another level.
Nun sind wir müde, alt und weise, lassen alles hinter uns. Wir genießen still und leise Hochkultur und edle Kunst. Nur hier und da das mal ein Gläschen oder auch ein zweites Sein. Bei gutem Anlass und Gespräch etwas Smalltalk wie frei. Ich will jetzt sofort auf ein Metfest.
Nice modulation on that.
Könnt euch jetzt sicher auf ein Metfest. Könnt euch die vollen Becher auf dem Metfest. Es verträgt sich jedes Pack, denn wozu braucht man Wein?
See, look at how engaged the crowd is. Like, sometimes you'll see, like, in American live performances, some of the audience will be like, yeah, they're standing there and taking it in, and others are like jumping in. Everybody here is like in the same mode. That's why I said it feels like a bit of an acceleration. Or elevation's a better word. Oh. Nice outro tones. That is such a solid closure. They are so much fun. I'm having as much fun with FEUERSCHWANZ as I did with D'Artagnan. Like, it's not that hard. They're just a great presence. Man, it's so much fun to just entertain artists like this. You know, like I said, with some of you might not have seen my D'Artagnan coverage. Maybe you're not even familiar again with the D'Artagnan name. They are associated, again, being in German connection. I'm assuming that's many of you that I know. I can't say it enough. None of you listen to the groups that I do. Not speaking as you follow the channel. I'm speaking of my personal relationships. And you are missing out. I am having so much fun in the European scene. I cannot tell you just how much of an addiction this has become. I love Europe. Again, I've said many times, my music tastes and generally who I am, I'm a bit of an anomaly in society and in my social circles. And I don't mind that. I say it as a position of strength. Because the level of talent that I find, again, with intentional effort. I like taking this globe-trotting adventure, it seems, into different places where, again, we have global talent. It's not just localized in one country. Though I'd love to go to Europe someday, specifically to be at some of these concerts with these bands. I would love to be at a D'Artagnan concert. I would love to be at a FEUERSCHWANZ concert. The crowd energy here is just so alive. Like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to American concerts. I just don't see this level of universal interaction on part of every audience member, it seems. Maybe there's like one or two that are sitting down, right? I don't know. But everybody just seems like they're all engaged. They got their props hanging out. They're jumping up and down. Everyone's excited. It's great. It's this invigorating experience. With fun pieces to accompany, again, the personality of FEUERSCHWANZ in their music. I love the German style, especially on a more aggressive form. I mean, D'Artagnan is great, but me being much more dominantly a metal guy generally, and me looking towards, okay, I'm not trying in any way to throw shade at D'Artagnan. I feel kind of weird saying it that way, because again, it sounds like I'm like leveling. They're both on even fields for me, but they're different in stylings, right? FEUERSCHWANZ is much more like aggressive metal and a foundation, or their music permits that. This is sort of like a good middle ground, I think, between kind of D'Artagnan and FEUERSCHWANZ, to be honest with you. It's sort of in that central association of both groups, I feel. Maybe if it crossed over, I wouldn't even notice, but it just sounds so similar. It's just so fun to entertain FEUERSCHWANZ, though. Like, I'm having a great time. And Metfest, engaging piece, great tones, good outro effects, like I said as well, with the different tones they picked. And it's so quick in succession, too. They're very brief, but they're compelling. They invigorate your interest, right? I love points of originality, and German music is just so much fun. I mean, I don't even care that I can't understand it. Yes, thanks to several repeat listens of D'Artagnan, and in part translating the lyrics for you, I've learned a couple of words. I'm certainly better at my pronunciations, and I practice quite a bit. I actually kind of want to learn German just because of the groups I listen to. I love the personality, though, of FEUERSCHWANZ, and German music, broadly speaking, it's just so much fun to entertain. And I hope the same is true of you. I'd imagine many of you are approaching this being longtime FEUERSCHWANZ fans, even longer than me. Again, recent emerging engagement that we're going to be taking a lot of time with them on this channel, and I cannot wait for the future to spend more time with their tunes, especially some of their more modern ones, their collaborations. Oh, I can't wait for some of those Melissa Bonney songs. I'm looking forward to it. Or some of their covers. The Oppa one especially I'm looking forward to. The Gimme Gimme Gimme. I can't wait to hear FEUERSCHWANZ tone on that. Let me hear what your thoughts are down below. Whatever angle you come from, if you wish to disclose your perspective, if you're a longtime FEUERSCHWANZ fans, or perhaps a fresh introduction. Does this tune compel you to look deeper? I would imagine it probably does. Just speaking on my impression with them, I think you're kind of in the mood of like, I want to go down this German, road music. Oh man. Speaking again, specifically of the European scene broadly, it's a very advantageous environment to entertain in the rock landscape. But German music, specifically German metal and German rock, a lot of fun. So much individualized feeling with my experiences in entertaining this type of music. It's just the tone of it. It's the energy. It's the crowd interaction. And again, live videos help like this, or help to establish that mood, right? You feel connected, even if, again, you're in your basement and you're thousands of miles away. You kind of feel like you're there, right? You're listening to these songs, witnessing them for the first time. You're like, yeah, I'm in a good mood. I'm with the crowd, It feels great, right? This is what I love about music. Again, it touches me in a way that the other art forms, as good as they are in their own respects, music for me it's the one I've been the closest to. And Europe's music just constantly reinvigorates and reminds me why that love exists. It reinvigorates my interest constantly. And FEUERSCHWANZ, no exception. Metfest, highlight of a tune. Great execution on it. Love the experience, as always. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.